And we're talking to Dr. Bruce Fife today about the oil pulling therapy. Oil pulling, oil swishing, whatever you want to call it, I'm telling you, there are so many people that are getting incredible responses from it that I know you're going to at least want to try it. Now, we haven't even talked about the relationship to dentistry and to what it does to your teeth, but there is a really excellent chart in the book, Bacteria Commonly Found on the Human Body and in the Mouth. And this chart makes you realize just how many millions and millions of bacteria there are. Well, if they get a home in there and they get started in growing there, then maybe they're contributing to disease more than we've ever known before. Now, Dr. Fife, is that not the reason that you think that oil pulling seems to work, that it's related to the amount of bacteria in the mouth?
That is exactly the reason. I mean, the mouth contains billions. There's more bacteria in your mouth than there are people living on this earth. And so there's so much bacteria, and this bacteria absorbs into the body. You know, believe it or not, but 98% of the population has some level of gum disease or tooth decay. And this allows the bacteria to enter into the bloodstream. Therefore, virtually everyone is susceptible to the harmful effects of the bacteria in their mouth, regardless of how clean their teeth are. And that is why oil pulling is so valuable, because it cleans the mouth better than brushing your teeth or using mouthwash.
Okay, let's go into what oil pulling is, because now people are wondering, no, wait a minute, how can your mouth have anything to do with your cardiovascular health or cancer or multiple sclerosis or any of these things? Why don't you explain the process of oil pulling with coconut oil?
Well, it's very, very simple, and that was one of the problems, I think, with it, is because people see how simple it is. They don't see how it can work. But basically what you do, now I prefer to use coconut oil for oil pulling. You can use really any type of vegetable oil, but coconut oil to me seems superior because of all of its health benefits that other oils don't have. So what you do is you take a spoonful of coconut oil and you put it in your mouth. And the amount of oil you use depends on how much you feel comfortable in your mouth. And you just put it in there, and like a mouthwash, you swish it around, push it and pull it through your teeth, your tongue, and you do this for about 15 or 20 minutes. Now, at first when I say that, people say, wow, that's a long time. Yeah, it's a long time, but if you do other things at the same time, the time goes quickly and you don't even notice. So you could read the paper, get on the computer, read your email, read a book, prepare breakfast, and time goes really quick. Once you've done that for 15 or 20 minutes, spit it out. And I suggest you spit it in the trash and not down the sink, because the oil will clog up the sink over time. So spit it in the trash, then rinse your mouth out with water and go ahead and get a drink of water. One other thing I'd like to mention is that be careful if you go on the Internet and look for information about oil pulling, because there's a lot of wrong information on the Internet. I highly recommend you read the book because it gives the correct information, the correct procedures on how to do this. A lot of the taboos that they have on the Internet make no sense, and they're not accurate. For example, they say you have to do oil pulling without drinking or eating and stuff, but it's actually better that if you take a drink of water before you do the oil pulling, because you want to stimulate the saliva. You want to be well hydrated before you oil pull, because the saliva is healing and helps to normalize the pH and other things in the mouth. So you do want to take a drink. But another thing is that oil pulling is recommended before eating. Well, in general, that's true, because if you're not accustomed to putting oil in your mouth, when you first do it, it'll be a little bit strange. And for some people who don't eat much oil, they may be a little bit disgusted with the oily taste in their mouth. But as you do this every day, it becomes less disgusting. I had no problem doing it because I eat a lot of coconut oil and fat in my diet anyway, so it didn't matter. but for other people, it may take a few days to get accustomed to.
It's unnatural, is sort of the way it is when you don't take a lot of coconut oil. Now, after this break, you're going to hear from Jessie here at the Power Hour, who did it for the first time last night, and I want you to get her reaction to doing this. All I can say is you've got to have the book, Oil Pulling Therapy. It's only $14.35, and if it changes your life, well, that's the best $14.35 you've ever spent. We'll be right back. 3-minute break. Stay tuned.